Welcome to Authentic Ecstasy podcast, a place where we explore our innate, intimate freedom. And I'm here with Shivagam again on the fourth episode of this series of freedom and the marriage of the masculine and feminine within us all. So welcome, Shivagam, again.
Well, thank you, Elisabeth. I'm so happy that we keep exploring, as you say. We went from what is freedom to the masculine power to the feminine power to have both point of view. And now we can keep exploring other areas that are so important, like, for example, the freedom from family.
Ooh.
That's a lot to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about. Freedom from family. What does that mean? We got to get rid of them?
At some point it might happen, life happens, but that's not the way.
Okay.
For me, the freedom of family, it's how much power does my family have over me, in the sense of how many things do I do because I consciously choose it, versus how many things do I do because I was told by my family, or because I'm afraid of causing a disappointment to my father, to my mother. So I have to keep following the path that they follow. So am I really free? If my inner self, my inner feeling is telling me, go this way, but the family pressure is telling me, go that other way, what do we do in there?
Family is the PhD of inner growth. If you can be in your family and do what you just said, you are a veteran in the walking the path of consciousness, freedom. And for me, the family has two folds. The family is the origin that, in my worldview, the soul chooses to expand through. And the family gives us the program. And that program is what begins the process of conflict, of creative tension within ourselves, what I want versus what I'm told, who I am, the question we were asking before, versus what you should be or do. And it's so young, the program. One is so young when the program is like a virgin computer and the downloading begins. And it's familiar. And what I've experienced with family and working with people is that familiar wins over freedom. So then it creates a split. I am free over here, sort of learning with my friends or with a community, with a Sangha. But when I go back to my family and ring the bell, I'm back to 5-year-old. And that split is something that negotiates the person, the individual, the traveler into consciousness has to negotiate. And for me is the number one stop where we come to learn why we behave, we think, we believe, we do in every aspect of our lives, our work, our relationships, our treatment, how I connect, how I don't connect. Because tendency is I'm going to be doing exactly what I'm told, or I'm going to be rebelling from that. So for me, it's key to the pilgrim's path to homecoming is to explore the gift of the family, which feels restrictive and painful because it evokes so many difficult feelings. And it's also the portal to discovering more of who you are. So it's a knife of double blade,
There is no way of getting rid of the family like that. But there is a similar concept or detachment that is my way of teaching about how to become free of family. As you say, we have that basic program. And first, I want to say to the people, it's not evil that our family put all of that in us. It is survival instinct. Our parents normally want the best for us. And they grow up in the way that they feel is the best. So they're not doing anything wrong, but it doesn't mean that it's appropriate for us. So for me, the real freedom from family happens when you detach from family. What do I mean by detaching from family? To stop seeing yourself as the child of your parent. To stop seeing your parents as your parent. I always teach to the people, sometimes I'm in a seminar, in a retreat or conference, and I ask, how many of you are mother or father? A bunch of them raise their hand. How many of you, your children, are below 18 years old? And then a lot of hands go down. Say, everyone that got down your hand, you are not longer a mother, you are not longer a father. That, it's over. That is what I mean by detaching. A mother, a father, has to understand that the responsibility ends when the son becomes adult. And if after 18 years old, and the parent decide to keep taking care, paying the university, it's out of compassion, that is wonderful to do it. But the responsibility ends. But it's not about responsibility. It's about leaving space for your children to grow up into a full autonomous adult. It has to be both sides. There is so many people that complain about the bad relationship they have with their parents, but they don't want to grow out, even by being adults. They still want to be that 5-year-old child that you are saying about. So for me, the freedom came in the moment that I completely stopped all of that bullshit of my father is the big and I'm the small. And you always be the big and I will always be the small. That is not true. As a soul, that is what I am. My father is not the father of my soul. My mother is not the mother of my soul. They are the parent of this body, nothing else. So in the moment that I changed my relationship with my parents from parent-child to friends, that was the final solution. That is where freedom happened.
To become the individuation. I am one into myself, and I've come with you of that other individual, and then I become separate, and I can have appreciation, and I come from that source, and I learned a lot of resources that then I choose to sort out, and I keep this and I don't keep this.
Exactly.
I stay complaining, but I need the love of the mother, of the father, or whatever I'm getting. So I'm not willing to do my will, because then
I might lose.
And even if what you're losing is a good thing to lose, which is what you're saying. And it's so deep, because especially now we are not living in communities and tribes. So we're so isolated in modern culture. So you have this reference, which is your mom and dad, and there is a fantasy of security, but then you walk through the door and it's not what you thought it was. And when I do my long journeys with initiatory journey, which I call it rewilding as well, one of the things we do when we get to the archetype of the mother, which is where we get all the mother, father, the program, is to, apart to know what you have acquired there, is to individuate, meaning you have to let go of your physical mother as being your mother. Your mother is no longer your mother. Exactly. But then you have to have a mother. Where is she? And that is the archetypal mother, that your mother is just a tiny little droplet of the energy of caring, nurturing, and grounding, earthing, which our mother couldn't do properly because because the feminine has been repressed and she couldn't pass down that power. So they need to access the mother. And once they access the archetypal mother, download it, feel it in themselves, which is the earth, the security, the belonging, the confidence. Then you can say to your mother, thank you. I'm not in fight anymore. And that is something that, in the one hand, what you're saying is like the solution was, I am an equal to you. I'm your friend, and you're no longer my father or my mother. But to do that, to let go of you as that source, I need to have the true equivalent, because actually I project on the other, on my mother, that's going to care. 100%. And then I get disappointed. And I'm still waiting for the other to give me that, rather than, hey, you've done the best you can. I need to find that energy.
Sometimes it's very common to speak about toxic relationship when we are talking about lovers, but the same happened with parents.
Yeah.
There are so many toxic relationships due to everything that you have been saying, that people doesn't know anymore how to have a healthy relationship. And for me, it's so simple. I don't understand. Well, I do understand because I went through it, but there is a moment in your life, like by being an adult, you shouldn't have to have any problem with your parents anymore. Why would it be that? They are living their life the way that they want, and you're living your way.
Yeah.
And there has to be respect in both sides.
Yeah.
But what is the problem? That it's not only incapacity. Sometimes it's not knowing how to, but often when they hear that they have to, they don't want to, because that means being fully responsible for yourself. And I remember now I have a lovely relationship with both of my parents. But for a while, as typical, I didn't have a good relationship with my father. There was a lot of judgment toward me for my choices of life. And I do remember a moment where I was fully empowered with the masculine and the feminine already. Well, fully, whatever that means. And I went to see him, and he started criticizing me for my work, for what I do and all of that. But criticizing in a funny way, laughing at me, slightly bullying. And I was taking everything in. When he finished, I told him, Dad, I want you to know one thing. I don't need you in my life. I'm fully autonomous economically, mentally, emotionally, spirituality. I don't need a father anymore. And if I come here to see you, it's because I love you, not because I need you. And I want you to understand something. If every time that I come here, what I receive from you, it's criticism, it's telling me how a bad life I'm living and my choices, and even laughing at me because of my life, I'm telling you right now that today is the last time that you see your son ever again in your whole life. Is it clear enough for you? And he went completely white. He was like, what the hell is going on? Because he knew me, and he knew that I was not bluffing. He knew that I was real. So for me, that was the masculine power of saying, I don't really need you. And it's totally the truth. I don't need my parents. I don't need them for anything, for nothing. I'm fully autonomous. I'm a fully complete being. And I have a wonderful relationship because they are wonderful people and because there is love. So I had to change that relationship. But for that, I had to mourn that need of wanting to feel back up by them, to wanted to feel I have my parent in the back. I had to overcome that and face the fear I'm alone in life. That is my choice. I'm alone. Everyone is alone. I'm going to make peace. I'm going to empower myself. Mm-hmm. So that is what opened the gate to release all that pressure from the family, to make my own choice. Sometimes my choice are not respected, are accepted. Other times my choices are not accepted. It's okay. It's okay. What I deny completely is to sacrifice the life that I want to live to make my parents feel happy and proud of myself. Mm-hmm. And my father he had a construction business. His son was architect. It's more ideal than that? And his son left architecture away to become into a therapist and a spiritual master, and going from a luxury life to living out of donation. It's like one extreme and the other. So there was disappointment at him. Of course, there was. Mm-hmm. But for me I have two choices. I might disappoint my father, which is not me disappointing him. It is him being attached to his expectation. I'm doing nothing to him. So I might disappoint him, but I will live the life that I want to live, or I disappoint myself, but by not doing what I want to do and keeping my parents happy. Oh no, I'm not here to make anyone happy.
Yeah, and you won't be able to make them happy
Exactly, because that is always
happy. Because they're not happy.
Exactly.
They want to live through you the dreams or the ideas that they have or have not fulfilled, or their belief systems.
Exactly.
And that is not, even if you did it all right, they wouldn't be happy. And you're talking about the father injunction. But then there's the mother injunction, which is the love manipulation of like, after all I've done for you, you hardly call me. You don't want to be, you don't come and visit your poor mother. You know, I've given you so much love. I loved you so much.
You're so ungrateful.
You're so ungrateful. That fear of like hurting the person who created you, that needs you. A mother, because she hasn't gone through this process that we're talking about, has the same issue that she had with her own mother and father, 100%. And then it's transferred. And that is the simple text word that is used, is codependency. And codependency is anti-freedom, anti-masculine, feminine power, marriage that we're talking about inside ourselves. And it's perpetuated down generations. So it's so strong. And for me, that is the source of everything. That I've created these groups I do online to re-educate mothers of children of any age to how to stop passing the same mothers who have spiritual journeys, who have a psychological understanding, who do therapy. But actually, when they come home, they do the same thing. You know, they do that for themselves.
They don't know how to take it from spirituality to daily life.
Exactly.
To action.
And to action with their children, because that's the most unconscious relationships. Our husbands, our wives, our girlfriends, our boyfriends and children are where we repeat all this codependent initial original patterning. And they just, you know, they have to learn so many things that, of course, they feel terrible because they realize they've been doing the same thing. And then the child will arrive to the same place of where they are in relationship to their parents. The mother has this, and the child will do the same, because it's a suffocating or abandoning. I say always there's two types, either abandoning or engulfing mothers, fathers. Either they just don't let you grow, or they completely reject you, push you away, and which either case there is no relationship. You know, and one there's only me and you're part of me, and the other one is like you don't exist.
There is one important aspect that it's not only related to family freedom, but to resolve any toxic or codependence relationship. The main problem is that we are used to put others in our center. People have so much difficulty in understanding that the first and the most important relationship that you will ever have is with yourself. And we are badly taught that it is egocentric to put yourself in the center. But that is the only way. I am the most important person in my life, not in anyone else, but in my life, I have to matter to myself. And I am the only person that I will spend the rest of my life with. So if I have to spin around anyone, it has to be me. Then I'm in my center. From my center, I can relate to family, father, mother, children, whoever. And if they go away, I don't lose that I'm losing my life. No, they are going away. But my life, it's about us. So I always try to teach parents, you have to remove your children from the center of your life.
And going back to egocentric, it's like that's the beginning. If the parents were in this new paradigm that we're talking here, then initially the child is egocentric. The teenager is like, I'm discovering me. And ego is the youngest sense of identity. Before a child doesn't say, Johnny is hungry, they treat themselves as a third person because there is no I. And the first I is the ego. So yes, I am discovering the center of my ego. Then if I carry on being successful and I'm supported, which that should happen at these early ages, then I'll be I-centric. So the center expands, and then it becomes ethnocentric, world-centric. And then you realize that you are everything and everything is you. That is high levels of consciousness. But we need to begin with egocentric.
Not only begin with, but never lose it.
Never lose. Well, the ego is formed.
Yes.
It takes a while for the ego.
Yeah. But what I mean, when you realize that you are everything and everything is you, that is an experience of Vishnu, do not lose yourself.
Do not lose yourself. No, because otherwise you detach. And so I begin to play with these words. In English, we have the word for all this that you're talking egocentric is selfish. You're selfish.
Okay.
And my change of words is you because people say the same to me. So nothing matters. You're the center of the universe. Yes, you are. Not the you. And all you have is your own experience. And then you become full of yourself. But the understanding of what the self is, first is ego, first is I can more individuated, and then is self, and then is the selfless self. And then that expression of masculine, feminine, everything that is in us, all these energies, will come in a most sophisticated way. But don't try to impose a selfless, be selfless. But wait a minute, I don't know who I am. Exactly. And the first thing I know who I am is my ego. When you're forming an ego, you don't want to share. It's like, and you get beaten up. Share this with you. Share. Wait a minute. Let me feel that. I don't like sharing.
That's honest. That's honest.
So how do I teach that to myself when I haven't been taught? I've been told that I don't like sharing. Spank, made cry, trauma. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like I have to share, because if I don't share, if I don't do what you want, you're going to punish me.
There is no understanding of why should I share. There is following a program. There is following, if I don't share, I get punished. There is no understanding of what charity is. There is no understanding of compassion and love. Yeah. There is fear. And that is one of the problems also, that people have to find freedom, that they follow rules and they don't understand why.
Exactly.
And there is a simple example that I explain to people. So that means that people follow the rules without ever daring to question why. If you do not understand, you are just a machine following what you are supposed to do. But you are not free in your mind to establish, okay, why should I put my elbows on the table or not? And that is just an example, but it applies to everything on how a family should work. Yeah. We have to be able to question all of those rules to decide, do I want to choose those rules or do I not choose those?
Beautiful. And this is one of the tasks that we, as people who are aspiring to more and more inner freedom, we need to be interested in. And I like to, because there's so much we could say about this, but I like to begin to wrap up this chapter with giving some possible tools that people can find out what beliefs they follow blindly. And not only that they don't even know they have. Like, you would never put the elbows on the table. It's so ingrained. And if you see somebody putting the elbows on the table, you think, oh my God.
And you don't know why.
And you don't know why. You're just like, es un maleducado, seguro. No, in English we say it's a bad-mannered person. So don't trust him. I mean, it's so quick. It's because thoughts are very fast.
Very fast.
Emotions are slower, etc., and sensations even more. So the invitation I want to give to the people who are following us on these chapters is one simple way, which is fun, to discover what is your program, is to go people watching.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sit down, put some dark glasses, have a coffee, a cup of tea, or a cold drink. And then you just, the first layer of people, you put 5 minutes, let's say, and you have a paper that you can write or record. And then you just allow all the projections
to arrive.
Feel what you notice. Are they short? Are they tall? Is that what you notice? Their height, their beauty, whatever. Are they wealthy? Are they intelligent? Because that is the value that was put in your family, right? That is unconscious. So you bring them to the surface. Just stop and then review what you've projected and judged, all these past bias. And it's very self-revealing, because that's what we are into. Rather than react, we reveal, it gets revealed who we are, and that's how we get to freedom. And the second part of it is to, again, the second batch of people, some of them are the same ones coming back, is to accept them. Okay, I see you're fat and ugly, and that's what I project on you. And you know what? I accept you, because you see, I accept myself. You know, maybe I'm spending all my life to make sure that I'm not fat and ugly. And that's my torture. That's my lack of freedom. So I accept. I don't accept you, and then I accept you, which is I don't accept. I reveal in myself what is an obstruction. Yeah. Because we were talking at the beginning of this series, on the first episode, that we were describing freedom. We were talking about the ability to be able to make a choice and to have the inner clarity of what you want, what you don't want. We also talked about that in the masculine. So that's a practical way to get to know yourself and what obstructs you from that freedom. And once again, thank you for being here with us and sharing all your experience and all your knowledge that comes through as we talk about this subject of inner freedom, marriage within, and the possibility of connecting to more and more of who we are already the case. So
thank you very much. It's my pleasure. And we continue to speak about relationship, freedom in relationship.
Oh, that's going to be a hot subject. Are we going to talk about sex?
Of course, if you want, we could.
So thank you.
Thank you.